Well, today's episode is going to be a little bit interesting. We're going to be reviewing two of the much recent events from Stardom. The first one is Sendai. Of course, it features a brand new member for Venus Club. We're still continuing with more of the Himika Retirement Road and plenty others. And of course, they do another one, and I believe it's called Nami, or what it's called. This one took place on the 8th of April, so I'm looking forward to see how that goes. As you know, we continue with more of the Himika Retirement Road, and then of course we move on with AEW Rampage. We got some interesting matches taking place. The IWGP Tag Team titles are on the line. I forgot what other ones we got taking place, so it's going to be interesting. And of course, who levels up on the latest episode of NXT Level Up. So let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with Stardom with their show in Sendai that took place on the 6th of April. Excuse me. It opened up with, of course, the new girls, Aya Sakura and, of course, Anako. As you know, these two ladies made their in-ring debut at the New Blood Premium, but now they've been recently been appearing in different matches. But this is the first time these two actually come across each other. Now, these two ladies are two of the three that passed their protest. The third one, I forgot her name, is out on injury. There's no telling when, but they did really do an impressive debut at the premium. But these girls are facing each other, which is common when it comes to Yoshi wrestlers who are coming out of the dojo. But it was expected, like any other, like we've seen with the young lions. Like majority of times we see time limit draws, which it ended up in that way after 5 minutes. So it was expected. Next, we have a three-way match. We have Fukigen Dev versus Yuna Mizumori versus Tekla. This was a very interesting matchup because, Yuna, you know how she is. Fukigen Dev, and Tekla, well, the toxic spider, what she does. But it was, of course, Fukigen Dev with the O'Connor roll onto Yuna Mizumori, giving her the win. Next up, we got Starlight Kid taking on Lady C. Very interesting matchup. I think I did know what I did like is how, as you know, Lady C is the tallest person. Well, Hanako is taller than her, but the tallest person that could use her height for leverage. There was moments where, of course, um, Starlight Kid tried to use submission in order to make her tap, but she was able to apply her, her height to reach the ropes. But however, that wasn't enough until Starlight Kid applied the moonsault, and it was over right there. 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we got the members of Club Venus. Now, before this, Mina Shirakawa did share information that there is going to be a new member. Now, people were already speculating certain wrestlers, like, for example, Zoe Lucas is one that they mentioned, Mandy Leone. I mean, look, not a bad outing because we do have Zaya Brookside, who is a familiar face in Stardom. But however, this new person, I did not anticipate this, but I haven't seen her for quite some time. We're talking about former NXT star Jessie Kaimea, who now just goes by Jessie. So she is now part of the Club Venus. So very interesting. They faced off stars consistent of Saya Ida, Hanan, and Koguma. I have to say, Jessie really made a good impression. I know that many people probably felt bad because she was let go from WWE, but now that she's in Japan making a name for herself, I think that sets the whole thing off. But she displayed a move that was later dubbed Joyride. She applied it onto Koguma and on no, I think no on Saida, and it was over. So I think we're all expecting some good things coming from her. Next up, we have Oedo Tai, consistent of Ruka, Momo Watanabe, and Atsuko Tora. They take on Stars members Momo Kogo, Azuki, and Mayu Iwatani. Now, this is confusing because we have two Momos in the same ring. I'm talking about Momo Watanabe and Momo Kogo. So it's kind of hard to, so I'm just going to go by their last name on this particular match so there will be no confusion. But one thing it did kind of went into that direction at the end where both Momos collided. But it was, of course, Momo Watanabe with the, what she calls it, the Ito Denashi driver onto Momokogo to give them the win. So another suffering loss for Momokogo. As you know, she's been on a losing streak, but hopefully she gets back on track. Our next match, this one became a very intensified match between Cosmic Angels, consisting of Waka, Natsupoi, and Tam, taking on the members of DDM, Mai Sakurai, Tekla, no, Mike, is it Tekla? No, yeah, Micah and Julia. This match went everywhere. As you know, the rivalry between both Julia and Tam continues to intensify, but however, the match didn't go exactly how we would expect it. It went into a 15-minute time limit draw. During this time, Julia went on a promo saying that she did not take this time limit draw likely, but she did say there's going to be like one of those 2 out of 3 fall matches at Yogi, which is the finals of the Cinderella tournament between DDM and Cosmic Angels. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing because apparently people already speculating what Julia said. She's saying that if she loses this match, she said that she'll drive Tam Nakano in despair and she's going to force her to have Cosmic Angels disband. Now, this is not a match where they say if they win, the Cosmic Angels disband. No, it's more a psychological warfare where Julia says, if I win, your team will disband on its own. So basically, she's trying to push her into despair as much as possible. So basically, that's how it is. But that doesn't end there. Once again, Mai Sakurai with her loud mouth, saying that, she's more important, saying that she's all like a lady and all that, saying she's going to win the entire Cinderella tournament. Because we know at the Cinderella tournament for the semifinals, she faces Waka. Now, our next match, this is part of the Himeka retirement road. Mina Shirakawa versus Himeka. Their history goes a long way. Now, Mina at the time was not a wrestler, but Himeka did, and of course, Mina was her ring announcer when she started out. But last year, during their fight to the top, Himeka and Mina were in a match where, of course, Himeka beat her by using her own move against her. But however, when the retirement road began for Himeka, Mina is demanding this match. But Himeka actually agreed, did give her the match. But the one thing she did say that the results remained the same. But Mina warned her, do not underestimate her. We have seen Mina time and time again how much she has changed, how much she has grown. I mean, she has changed a whole lot since her accident, and I think that kind of sets it off. But the real question is, does Himeka really is that confident? Well, obviously not in this case, because Mina got justice for what happened. She applied the glamorous collective Mina on her, and 1, 2, 3 is over. So basically, I don't think Himeka expected this from her one way or another. But unfortunately, Himeka did say that she wishes for Mina's wishes to come true, which we all know what that is. The white belt. That is the one belt that we know that Mina is aiming for, and that's going to happen on the 23rd of April. Now, our next match, our main event, features Godzai, Konami, Mirai, Amisuri, and Suri taking on Queen's Quest, Mayu Umasaki, Utami Ayashida, Azumi, and Saya Kamitani. This was a pretty much of a brutal match. But however, it was Mirai with the mirror onto Miyu Amasaki that picked up the win, and of course, Amasaki had no other choice but to tap. A pretty good show, and that's how pretty much it took place in Sendai. Now let's move on to the other Stardom show in Aonami. I believe that's pronounced, and this one took place on the 8th. So let's get to it right now. Okay, so we got Stardom in Aonami. So hopefully I pronounced it right. This one took place on the 8th. It opened up with, of course, with Aya Sakura with taking on Mai Sakurai, which is interesting. Now, keep in mind, Aya still is on a learning curve, getting the experience that she needs, and she is currently not affiliated with any factions. But however, many people saying that there is a strong possibility that Aya Sakura could end up with DDM, but I do hear others were saying that she could end up with Cosmic Angels due to the fact that she does have the similar kind of background as Tam Nakano. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, the Kung Fu style. But nonetheless, I feel like this match does give a little bit of of Mai Sakurai's like, okay, now she's getting warmed up, getting ready for the fight for the Cinderella tournament semifinals. But of course, she picked up the win when she applied the diving elbow drop, and of course gave a little promo saying the commenters and all this other stuff. So you know how that goes with her. Next up, this was a very interesting team in the tag match. Yuna Mizumori teaming up with Ruka. Now, you probably can say this is not going to work out. I would eventually agree because their opponents is Club Venus, Xena, and Jesse. Because Ruka was outside the ring, got off the apron, and let Yuna Mizumori take the fall on this one. So basically, that kind of went into that direction. But unfortunately, um, it didn't go well for Yuna Mizumori because Jesse applied her in the joyride, and that kind of ended right there for them. So, yeah. Next up, we got Hanako once again teaming up with Lady C. I have to say, Hanako and Lady C are extremely effective as a tag team. I know that I did mention this where Himeka feels like Hanako should replace her once she retires, but I highly doubt that Hanako has any intentions. But Lady C in the beginning did say, she can take off the list about saying she's the tallest person in Stardom because right now it's Hanako. But I did say that they do work together very well, and I'm very excited for that. Their opponents is, of course, the other members of Club Venus, Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. Um, I would have assumed that this one would have been either. I know Mariah May has pinned her before with the Happily Ever After, but it was Mina who walked away with the win when she had applied the implant DDT onto Hanako, giving her the win, which of course it is. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mina may have any interest in her, because as you know, many of the other units would definitely want to have one of them to join. Next up, we have Cosmic Angels, Waka, Natsupoi, and Tam taking on DDM, Tekla, Micah, and Julia. Now, this was away from the intensified what we saw in Sendai. It was a bit more better, but you can tell the intense rivalry between Tam and Julia continued to grow. But in this case, it was the Tiger Suplex by Tam onto Tekla that gave them the win. So this is the rivalry between them that will get them all the way to April 23rd continues on. So we'll see about that. Next up, we got stars consistent of Saya Ida, Hanan, Koguma taking on God's Eye, Konami, Mirai, and Suri. Now, I knew for a moment this was going to happen. This is a repeat from last year in the 5-Star Grand Prix, I believe, where, if you guys remember, Koguma likes to do the little thing on her opponents. But in this case, Suri is not a big fan of that. It gets her pissed. And Koguma, as you know, she likes people to come try to chase her. But Suri is like, I'll chase you around. And she did. But apparently she ended up in the crosshairs of both um, both Mirai and what's her name? And Konami. But that wasn't good right there. But as always, this match ended with Konami applying the Triangle Lancer, which gave her a good win. So it's a good win for God's Eye. Now, however, our next match is, we continue with more on the Himeka retirement road. Ami Suri takes on Himeka. So this was a very interesting match to see. I mean, these two ladies are two powerhouses, and I think that tells it all. I mean, I know they have come across each other before, but I think this is more like a last hurrah for Huke, who is the much stronger one out of all of them. That's always been the case, but unfortunately, this match didn't go exactly like it would have been. It ended with a 15-minute time limit draw, which of course is unsatisfaction, but that's how it goes in Japan. So pretty much it. Now our main event, we have Oedo Tai, consistent of Momo Watanabe, um, Starlight Kid, and Natsuko Tora taking on Queen's Quest, consistent of Miyu Amasaki, Utami Ayashida, and Sayakami Tani. Um, as always, we see in these type of matches, we see the dirty tricks that Oetai always applied, but it was Momo Watanabe who picked up the win when she applied like the Thunder Peach onto Amasaki, giving them the win. But however, they did not close the show. Basically, as you know, Momo still has like that attitude, like saying you ladies in Queen's Quest sucks. If you guys remember clearly, back in 2021, Momo Watanabe betrayed Queen's Quest to join Oedo Tai. So basically, she's trying to see if she can make them go to stink. But that's how it goes down. But Queen's Quest did close the show, just in case anybody asked. So it was okay show. So we'll see what happens. I'm yet to see the one they did in Cork and Hall. And we'll get to the one for the finals of the Cinderella tournament. So we'll see about that. But right now, let's move on with AEW Rampage. Okay, AEW Rampage. So let's get started with that. It opened up with the IWGP Tag Team Championship between Aussie Open, who just recently won these titles from Bishamon. They were laid out the challenge by none other than Chuck and Trent, best friends. I thought it was a pretty good, interesting one. I can't imagine the jet lag that Aussie Open had to go through, go from Japan and to the US just for this particular show. But as always, I think we all knew that this match was going to go straight to Aussie Open, because recently we do know they are going to be in another tag match for another set of tag team titles. That's another conversation for another time. But nonetheless, it ended with, of course, the Coriolis on Trent, and boom, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Now, Mark Briscoe, as you know, he goes a long way with Jay Lethal, but Lethal has been trying to prove otherwise some things. But the obvious question does remain, is he on the same page as Lethal, Jarrett, Dutt, and Singh? I don't think he is, because the problem is this, that I feel that Jay Lethal uses friendship in order to get him. Like, he wants him to agree that their way is the right way. But Mark Briscoe, he's like, I'm trying to do things much easier, but looks like we just got to see what happens. FTR, as you know, they made their return. Wendy became the two-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. From as far as we know, they're still all elite, and they are willing to go the distance. They even mentioned how fans should have been booing them, and I'm like, but people embraced them, and I think that's a pretty good thing. So we're yet to see them some more. There's still no indication who will be the next ones to step up to challenge them for their titles, but we'll see what happens then. Now, we do get a backstage interview with Lexi, where she meets with the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, along with Isaiah Cassidy and Hook. Now, as you know, Jeff Jarrett made a bombastic return on Dynamite, blowing the roof off of everybody. But however, Matt Hardy revealed that there's going to be a bit of a final confrontation between them and the firm, more consistently with Lee Moriarty, Ethan Page, Big Bill, and Stokey Hathaway. So when and where is this going to happen? Well, we know where it's going to happen. It's going to take place right where it is. It's wonderful. That's right, the Hardy compound. Man, I love when matches are in the Hardy compound. I mean, what surprises you think the firm are going to expect? I mean, we did see that with Sammy Guevara, with with those surprises, and not to mention with Bray Wyatt. But we'll see what happens then. Um, Warlow, as you know, is back. He got the attention of Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs not happy with how this thing turned out, but he did say that he is not going to let him take the title. So we'll see about that when we get there. Now our next match is Briscoe teaming up with Lethal, Jarrett, and Satnam Singh to take on all members of Spanish Announce Project, Luther, Angelico, and Serpentico, along with Jake Manning. But this match didn't go exactly like I thought. It kind of went to the story where Mark's like, "What the hell?" And he had this match right where he wanted it, but no, they were making decisions that didn't make him feel comfortable. It's like saying, "I'm not in the same page." However, Briscoe did manage to pick up the win on Manning when he applied the froggy bow, but he's like, "I'm not in the same page, guys." So basically, I don't know what is the deal with the whole thing. Now, next match we have Tail Valkyrie taking on Ami Sakura. The match was pretty good. I liked it, but at the same time, we saw Jade Cargill and Layla Gray being there. Now, you know that Jade is not happy with the fact that she is trying to prevent Tail Valkyrie from stop using the road to Valhalla. But however, legals did not do any good for her one way or the other. So you can tell that her presence was a bit of a distraction for Tail Valkyrie, but she was able to apply the Jaded onto Emi Sakura, and resulted to the win. But as you know, like any other, we did see there was going to be a beatdown between Jade um, and Taya, but unfortunately, Taya was so close in putting Jade Cargill into Road of Valhalla until Layla Gray showed up, and then Jade did it on her own. So you can tell that the intensified, because here's the thing, Tail Valkyrie's popularity is growing. So now she's a big threat to Jade Cargill's title reign and hers. So we'll see how that turns up. Now, interesting news is coming that Weasel Jose, the assistant, has announced that next week on Dynamite, Dralístico will be challenging Hijo de Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Now, we did saw what happened on Dynamite. Those dumbasses, the JSA, Menard, Parker, and Hager attacked the Acclaim. So they thought they can rap, but no one can beat the raps as the Acclaim can until they showed up, and they started getting a little freaky, like saying, "Oh, we're gonna cut your nipples off, Menard." So I thought that was crazy. I don't know if Menard, Parker, and Hager didn't think they pushed them too far. Well, that's their fault on that. Now our main event features Jungle Boy versus Shawn Spears. I do like the match how it is. I mean, Shawn Spears, as you know, he's been gone for quite some time, but I think many fans probably ask, okay, how much ring rust does he have? I mean, we know he left for maternity leave to be with his wife and be a father to his son. I thought it was a very interesting matchup, because we look at Shawn Spears, who's a veteran, but uh, Jungle Boy applied a reversal magistral onto Shawn Spears. Pretty good match. It does give like the momentum that Jungle Boy needs in order to reach to the top for the AEW World Championship. I think that's pretty much it with AEW Rampage. So let's move on with NXT Level Up. Okay, so who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up? So let's talk about it. Opening match features Hank Walker taking on Kale Dixon. Now, Hank, as you know, he is like the underdog story wrestler we have known. Kale Dixon is the new wrestler who's trying to be the cool guy in who cuts corners. But the obvious thing is how this was going to go. I can tell how Hank Walker is growing and growing little by little. He was very impressive as possible, but He was the one who picked up the win when he applied a big elbow right onto the face of Kill Dixon, giving him the win. Now, we do get our interview that relates to our main event. We have Lola Vice teaming with Elektra Lopez. Now, this is a team that, of course, was started up by Elektra Lopez. She tried to team up with Valentina Feroz. That total was a disaster. But, of course, Lola did mention in Spanish that they're there to obliterate every tag team there is in NXT. So we'll see how that goes. But opponents will be Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Next team we have Zion Quinn and Tavion Heights. Now, Zion Quinn has been recently, for the past few months, not in a good winning streak. We know he's lost several matches. But Tavion Heights has brought in, good presentation. I mean, the guy is Greco-Roman catch wrestling style, which is the same kind of thing we see with Damon Kemp. You probably thought this match would have gone into Tavion Heights, but no, it was Zion with a bit of the forearm strike onto the face of Tavion Heights. That allowed them to win. Excuse me. Now, our main event, we have Katana Chance and Kaden Carter taking on Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. Interesting matchup, because, as you know, this is a new team with Lola and Elektra. The obvious thing how this was going to go. I say they did pretty well, but we know they'll grow eventually once things kept moving for them. But of course, it was the 450 by Katana onto Lola Vice, but it was Kaden Carter who picked up the win by the pinfall. So it was a pretty good match, but nonetheless, we'll see how Lola and Elektra Lopez progress in the future. So I think that's pretty much it right now. With this, let's do some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So this is what we have so far. The GCW updates, we have Fight Night has been announced on the 11th of May. Our current IWGP World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. makes his presence known. I'm not sure if this is his first time, but it's great to hear that he's going to be appearing. The Way I Am, which is an event taking place on the 20th of May. Maki Ito will be in action, taking on Shaza McKenzie. And then, of course, finally, we have the I Can't Save You on the 21st of May. We have Alex Shelley taking on Alec Price. I think that match is going to be really good. Now, another debut has been announced for House of Glory, but is on the 19th of May. We got Always Ready Matt Cardona. I don't know how that's going to go, but I think it's going to be interesting since we know he's been making appearances in various independent promotions. So we'll see about that. Now, if you guys have been hearing about Drew McIntyre recently, as you know, chances are that he's leaving. But recently it's been announced that his Twitter page just went total blackout. All black, remove all references of WWE into his Twitter page, which is kind of not unusual. We've seen wrestlers, they do that where they just remove the WWE references. So that's pretty much on that. Black Label Pro for the Too Cold to Hold on the 29th of April. What's his name? Sandra Moon makes her debut to the promotion. Her opponent is none other than Rachel Strong. What else? Oh yeah, interesting things for anybody who's planning to attend any New Japan or Stardom events. On May 1st, they announced right now that fans can cheer. They can remove their masks during shows. Basically, you can continue to cheer. They've been cheering with the mask on. I don't know what make their decisions to do it, but this was announced. This is good news. Little by little, things are going back to normal, which is good. A very interesting news has come around. Japanese legend Kenta Kobashi has announced for his upcoming event, Fortune Dream 8. He announced that our pirate princess Kairi will be making her appearance. Now, this is the first show outside of Stardom that Kairi's ever made. Now, since she was let go from WWE, she's making her appearances. She made her appearances in New Japan and Stardom. So this is a very interesting thing to hear. Don't know what to expect, but um, but he said that the opponent's name is there. I don't know who this person is, but it's going to be interesting. Finally, our last update. As you know, Saori Anou will make her appearance at the All Star Queendom for Stardom, where she teams up with Kairi and Natsupoi, where they challenge Prominence for the Artists of Stardom Championship. So basically, it was announced that she injured her arm during during the Nomads show. As you guys remember, she appeared at Nomads. It was announced that her match on the 15th of the the following day, um, on the 15th of April, she's out of Sendai Girls and all this other things. Um, this is what she had to say. I pretty much. Let me see what she said. She tweeted this earlier. We apologize for the inconvenience and concerns at this time. Thank you all stand girls who made warm decisions to take care of me. Fortunately, there's no abnormal uh, abnormality in the bone, so I will return to the ring soon. Uh, Other than my arm, I'm very healthy, and I will visit the venue. Thank you for everything. So basically, her injury is nothing serious, but I'm sure this will be monitored carefully before we get to the 23rd of April for All Star Queendom. So I'm sure that's going to be good. I think that's pretty much it for our news updates at the moment. Let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we got more on NWA USA. But, however, as we speak, we have the Stardom Cinderella tournament taking place. So by the time this video is already uploaded, I'm sure I'll be hearing what's going on in Stardom, or possible watch it. I don't know. And also, we got the Capital Collision by New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be watching that yet or save it till the next time. I know I still got the GCW Collective stuff I haven't reviewed yet. Those are right now as a top priority, but we'll go from there, as soon as we move forward. So until next time, I'll see you guys on the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.